Hey guys, Popular Bald Kid here. Today is a great day because today we're going to be looking at the Predator Concrete Jungle Deluxe Stoneheart Predator by Neca. Taking a look at the packaging, this box is huge. I mean, it is bigger than my head, guys. So we're just going to look at it from that angle, and appreciate the cool artwork right here of him fighting all the xenomorphs. And then we're going to listen to his story. Stoneheart was once an honorable warrior. Then he was captured by Borga Industries and subjected to a series of brutal augmentations that would see the towering predator brainwashed and turned into a cyborg. As his first combat test, he would be dispatched to end the revenge-fueled rampage of his former brother, Scarface. Before his conversion into a mind-controlled cyborg, Stoneheart was the enforcer and pack leader of the Darkblade clan. Renowned for his size and brutality, he shunned ranged weaponry, preferring to take on his prey literally hand-to-hand, forgoing even the traditional wrist blades in favor of hand-mounted daggers. His name was earned from his practice of gruesomely dismantling his prey, including a member of a rival clan who challenged his honor and accused him of using widely reviled genetic augmentation to gain his fearsome size. Alongside his fellow unwilling bad bloods, Long Spear and Swift Knife, Stoneheart would meet his fate at the hands of the redeemed Scarface, who fought the giant and finally delivered him an honorable death. So that's pretty cool. And as you can see, there's a few product shots of this really awesome figure. Now we're gonna open this up. You can see the shot inside and big window box you can store him in. And I think it looks really, really great. So now let's look at the detail of this figure. You can see first and foremost, he's big. I mean, he's so big I had to put my tripod on top of a box. You can see here the Perceptor, just made a video of that. And let's look at his head first. So you can see here you got the really nice translucent blue plastic, and he's got good looking eyes and stuff. Looks really cool. And you actually go to the back of his head, and what's kind of sad is they chopped off his dreads. You can see there. So what makes that sad is that they're not actually their hair, they're the part of the Yachtjaw's body. So that probably hurt a lot. And we look right here, you can see there's a little more of that translucent blue plastic over his heart. And you can see little bits of like purpley like flesh parts sticking out. And you can see he's got a very rough texture on the legs. And his feet, very big. Got the shin guards, then he has his arms, he's got the gauntlets and those hand-mounted daggers they were talking about earlier, and they look really good and detailed. And then we're gonna flip around to his back, where you see these two big fans with the translucent blue plastic, and you can just see like the way they're like sticking out of his back, like the little bits of like the flesh, and it looks like it hurts. Like this guy has been in pain for a long time. And you can see just bits poking out. And then he has these flexible hoses. They are not posable, but they are flexible, as I have said. So you can really get him in any pose you need. And then for the back of the legs, it doesn't really have much. So this guy looks amazing. And I'm going to set this back here because his best feature is his LEDs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that off, turn that on, and you can see a little light turns on. So I'm just gonna put this back in, and it's really hard to see with this one. Maybe I'll turn off the lights for a moment. No, you can't see that, but it's on. So yeah, you can see the lights on, but it's just not very good. Very, very bad LEDs for the back. And you can see it glow a little bit better with the heart. See? So that looks fine. But the best LEDs are at his head. You take off the top of his head, and you flick the switch, and these four very bright lights turn on. And they shine through the translucent blue plastic, and they just give this really, really cool look. It looks a little bit different on camera. Harder to see, but it's very, very pretty. And it's one of the coolest ways to display this figure, and this figure will stand out in your collection. I can guarantee you that. The articulation is pretty good, and you can hit all the required poses, but some joints feel lackluster or unnecessary. So we'll start off at the head, where you get this really nice range of motion with the head, and you get a 360 swivel, and that looks good. And then the arms, they can raise up that much. No bicep swivel, but you do, however, get an elbow swivel, 360 right there, and they can bend in this far. The arms right here, they have a rotation and a bend, and then you can move that abdomen crunch a little bit, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you can rotate that a tiny bit, but it's kind of hard to get into there. So then we have his legs, which for articulation, the worst part. So they can kick up reasonably, for such a big figure. Then they can kick back that much. And this is my least favorite part every time. Listen to that ratchet. That is just so painful. So it can go around that much, and it just gets worse. Oh my goodness, it feels like it's about to break every time you use it, and it's so scary. And then we have a bend at the knee. It goes around that much, and you get a knee rotation too. So pretty decent. And then there's obviously the ball joint at the feet. So good articulation for such a big figure. The amount that they managed to put in here is pretty good. The amount of detail and articulation on this figure, I really, really like this figure. And I mean, I'm just gushing over it the whole time, even in the articulation, which is probably its weakest factor. But it's good, and you can hit whatever poses you need. For accessories, he comes with an extra set of hands, which is fists, and these are really good if you want him to punch and use his little dagger claws. And then he comes with his wrist blades. But the interesting fact is that they actually came with an extra one. So you can plug these in here. So one in there, one in there, and one in there. Let me get that one in. And then this last one. So yeah, I rushed a little bit. You can get them in, make them look better than this. But they look really, really cool. And even though it said that he doesn't like using the wrist blades, he prefers daggers only, try hard, I still think that they look really, really good. And I still wonder what this extra one is for. Then, lastly, we have a pair of open mandibles right here. So what you do is you go in the head, and you pull the closed ones out. This one is so hard to get out. There, got it. Okay, then gonna get that one. Gonna get that one. That one, there. I was putting it in the wrong way. And it looks good, but there's actually a hidden joint when you take off the closed ones. You can open up his mouth and have him like screaming or like roaring, and it looks super, super cool. So those accessories combined with the LED effects, as we'll show right here, creates possibly one of the coolest looking figures you can have in your Predator display. For size comparisons, here he is next to the Jungle Hunter Predator and the Spitter Alien. So yeah, this guy is big. So now time for the final question. Would I recommend this figure? Would I want you to get it? 100% without a doubt, yes. I think as many people as possible should get this amazing figure because it's honestly a gem. I didn't even know this figure existed until like 2 weeks ago, but like I I will never regret buying this. This is probably the best figure in my entire collection. And I haven't even played the video game. Without a doubt, one of the coolest action figures I've ever owned.